We
Wow.
do.
It's
And
ready.
also, something nobody have noticed so far, there's a Pokeball on that rocket. It's Team Rocket rookies, everybody. So
Oh no,
so
they're
they're gonna
blasting
do
off
some
again.
crimes. Yeah, they were not blasting off again. They were not losing in their game. They were showing
No.
up. So
They have so much experience with
they're
blasting off again,
ready.
they were able to do it to their opponents. That's how
Yeah,
it worked, right?
absolutely. So we'll have to see what's going on here with this draft. The first few picks, which will be the bans, are coming
Ooh.
right as of now. And Rocket Rookies, they do not want to Warrior, so Greystone gets out of here.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like I would say like a target ban, but it kind of feels a little bit like a target ban. Just be like, you know what? Doesn't really doesn't really feel like they Greystone is usually a band that will see that early. Deck are a lot more standard in that sense. So yeah, it doesn't feel like a little bit of a free opening for the Rocket rookies to be able to have the Wompcats pick something else up that they might be comfortable with. Um, and I will also say what we've seen today in terms of like the different characters, but also the lanes and the positions they've been played in has been very diverse, very flexible. Bellica now coming out for Rocket Rookies is one of those classic picks in the first start that you can just put in a couple of different places. So it's like the flex pick, and that's going to really help Rocket Rookies round out this draft a little bit more and keep Wompcats on their toes.
Yeah, and since Bellica is out of the way, there's only one more answer, and that's going to be Quang going in for the Wompcats. We have seen a few Quang today, a few Quang players, and I do like that pick because we can pretty much put it anywhere. We have seen it a bit in offlane, we've seen it in jungle, and we have also in scrim seen it a bit as a support just for good measure.
I just want to see
But
mid lane Kwang. It's gonna be
yeah,
great. It's
yeah,
gonna
do it,
work.
do it. You can do it. Everybody,
We've
just try
we
it
just
out.
saw Seraph mid work, Kwang
Yeah,
mid
exactly.
just as good. See the Grux come out from them as well. Not a pick we see a whole lot of anymore these days, neither in the picks or in the bans. But this might also just be a situation in which the Wompcats say, you know what, we also just need to be comfortable on the heroes that we pick, not just heroes that are like quote unquote meta, but just that we are good at. Because sometimes you can do something that isn't considered meta, but then for you, for your team, for your players, it is. And Grux might just be that character for Wompcats.
Yeah, remember that meta is just most efficient tactics available, and that also includes skill level and what you're good at. So they are just gonna go for the personal meta rather than the statistical meta. Wow, I was really slurring that word, but never mind. Richter coming through here from Rocket Rookies as their third pick, together with the Chimera for the jungle, most likely, as a Chimera doesn't have any other place to be. And Narbats will be the answer over on the Wompcats.
Really strong combo, of course, with Bellica and the Richter being able to knock up a character and just pull them towards you because there's nowhere else they can go. And Chimera, a very solid jungler all around. I don't think we're going to see them in any other position, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see some shenanigans go on today. Narbash, I mean, that pretty much has to be the support, at least for the Wompcats. So we are looking for some
Oh, it's a
ADCs
carry.
here. I would love it. I think we're looking for some ADCs and mids here. Belka could still go mid, of course, with the Richter also being fairly flexible. Rocket Rookies really leaving their draft very open. It's a very dangerous thing for the Wompcats to walk into because they are very much be able to be hard countered a lot more at this stage.
Yeah, and the bans have come through here in the second stage, and it's going to be Murdoch taken off by the Wompcats. They do not want to fight this big guy, and we have seen Murdoch in so many tournaments absolutely demolish their opposition, especially with that long arm of the law. So let's not have that open. While Rocket Rookies, they just don't want to hassle with the black hole. That's essentially it. Or the torn space for that matter from Gideon. They just don't want that on the field right now. So we'll have to see here in the second pick phase whatever the answer will be, because right now it's all up in the air. But Drongo. Wow. I'm very professional, everybody. But Drongo goes through here for the Wompcats.
But today we have seen a lot of just Twin Blast Drongo matchups, like just constantly coming through in that duo lane. Just seem to be the most preferred ADCs. We're gonna get it again here. Not something like that's not the part we're surprised about, right? Like that just sort of happens. But yeah, Rocket Rookies, they still have their mid lane support and off lane technically open in terms of who goes where. So they're going to go with the steal, and we still don't truly know where everything's going to go on their side. But it does seem that Bellica will probably be the mid laner, and then Richter and Steel have to fight it out between the solo lane and the support. Very likely that Richter will be in the support and Steel on the solo lane. Now let's see what they're going to match up to. Gadget.
Well, Rocket Rookies, they have one thing that I've noticed, and that is whenever they pick Richter, it's for InkLegend. So that is going to be for the jungle, but that does not make any sense since they picked the Chimera. So
that's what I'm saying,
agree
right?
with your point
normally I would agree.
Yeah.
But Chimera support or solo lane.
Yeah, okay, a Chimera support. I mean, it would be baller if it happened, but we can't really assure that for now. But normally it is an InkLegend special.
I think we'll see the confidence level of Rocket Rookies, shine through depending on where these heroes are going to go to which lane. But the Gadget to round it out, matchup against the Bellica is not necessarily terrible. You got to watch a little bit for the mana drain, of course. But it looks like that will be, depending on how the jungle and the dual lane are going to interact with that, whether that's going to be a problem for either the Gadget or the Bellica or not. But at the very least, both drafts have substance to them. Rounded out, it does feel like the Rocket Rookies are a little bit more of what we consider meta, consistency, proven. And on the Wompcats, we have a couple of more unknown factors. Kwang still being relatively new, but having performed really well. Grux that we don't see that often, and even Gadget that doesn't show up all that often anymore these days. So yeah, there's a little bit more either comfort or trying to throw Rocket Rookies for a loop here on the side of Wompcats, and Rocket Rookies just having a very tried and true tested recipe on their hands. It's always a question mark in the end where it's gonna go. It does feel like Rocket Rookies has it, in hand currently, but let's see if they can get caught off guard.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. We're getting right into the game. This is, as all the other matches here today, it is a best of one. The Rocket Rookies fighting off the Wompcats. We'll have to see if Wompcats can get a win out of this group stage, or if Rocket Rookies will stay undefeated. And I'm very, very excited for this because as I can see it now, it seems to be the case that we have the Richter support and the Chimera in the jungle, respectively. InkLegend rocking the Chimera in this case.
And starting off, no one's going to really do anything weird invade-wise. We see a little bit of an attempt potentially here from Wompcats on the red jungle, but they're just putting down the vision ward. Same thing's going to happen. Rocket Rookies have actually grouped up in their own, like around the Fangtooth pit to potentially see an invade come in, but nothing really weird going to happen. They're not going to have to be careful about any vision coming down. No one's going to try and invade there. They're going to go back to their own lanes and start this off with. But yeah, InkLegend on the Chimera. See the Belga going down into the mid lane as we were expecting. Richter indeed on the support, and then the Twin Blast routed on the ADC. On the other side, again, also nothing weird. We kind of called it in the draft, right? We do see the Kwang going into the jungle. That was like the sort of question we had left. Is it Grux going to be on the solo lane, or is it going to be the Kwang? It's going to be the Grux. So we have the Kwang in the jungle. And let's see how that's going to work out. Because like you said, we've seen him on multiple different positions these days. And not being in the solo lane, but instead of being in the jungle, I like seeing him there.
Yeah, absolutely. We can just see in a moment a tether combo coming through on any kind of ganks, and it can really pay off its due values, as we've seen how much damage it has done. And like we saw, for an example, a 1v2 in offlane with Llama literally surviving everything that was thrown at him while he was playing that Kwang. So we can definitely see that this is going to be a very safe pick for now until the first few engages. But there is an engage with the Riplet connecting onto Crusher. Oh no, Gag will get the first blood already. We're barely 3 minutes into the game. Oh no, Wompcats very much out of position there. But the hunt is actually continuing here, as Baad Juju was right there. Never mind. Oh, I was worried there for a second.
Those early rotations, is like the choices that they're making here are very much in terms of we're going to be aggressive, we're going to be confident, we're going to try and get them as early as possible. They don't want to spend time on this game, but they're going to have to. They're going to have to still, do their best. Wompcats not going to be walked over completely without a challenge. So far, though, looks very in hand of Rocket Rookies. You can see the little mini map. You can see their overall position is forward, to say the least.
They're definitely sitting at a very early stage of the game, but they're still going for it. They want to take Baad Juju out of this equation. InkLegend getting another kill under the belt, helping out the off lane. SimmyGoesHard goes up against Exappy here in the mid lane with a lot of damage and a seismic assault, but there's just a retreat happening right then and there. But a hat will be placed on top of Simmy just to show that you're not completely afraid of the Lieutenant.
No, and of course, you're talking about different cooldowns, the range at which you can operate, and the gadget is sitting fairly comfortable a little further back. Always has that sort of a ranged advantage because of the drone sticking on a little later, so you get that extra little bit of, especially when someone's chasing you, you get the extra little bit of range that they don't have on you. But in general, the gadget should not be under as much pressure as they're going to be here in the dual lane and in the solo lane, and even with the aggression they showed early, they're still able to freeze this lane next to their tower. They're able to control it so well and take advantage of the fact that there is not as much control on the other side. They're going to chase down the Drongo here. That's not going to end well.
Flulouch is out of the fray. InkLegend will get another kill with that ambush, and that is just all she wrote. Rocket Rookies right now sitting at a comfortable 3-0 situation. And this time it's not so much of a funneling experience for GAG as he is at 101 this time around and has not been funneled every single kill available. But it's still a very good advantage for their side.
It almost feels like things are going down so fast and so easily that GAG couldn't even get them funneled if they wanted to. It's just they don't expect them to come the other way that easily almost. Tarkraf Requiem and Baad Juju will be just skirmishing it out a little bit on this solo lane. But Baad Juju loses a little bit too much HP and doesn't have the bleed coming back into them. They're going to have to run, and they're not going to live. They're just going to go down. Baad Juju, 4-0 on the board for the Rocket Rookies. And FangBooth has only barely spawned. Like, that's how quickly this has been going.
Well, for lack of a better word, this definitely looks like a scary situation for the Wompcats. Their pelts are being sold on the market one at a time, and we're barely 10 minutes in game. We're in a 5-minute game situation, and the world has been activated again. Absolutely wonderful. But as I said before, this is just what I expect out of Rocket Rookies. When I saw them in the first game, I started noticing that there's something about this team that really catches my attention. And what I like about them is that they actually punish mistakes super hard, and they have done so really well so far in the first 5 minutes.
It's almost like they anticipate the mistakes coming. So it's not just that they're punishing them; it's that they almost like they know that they're coming and they're already in position to punish the mistake before it even happens. And that is a very rare ability, or very a good ability, because essentially what that means is you're anticipating how someone is going to play their game and what position they're going to be playing. There is an elimination that comes back onto GAC, but it is going to be unfortunately traded instantly, so it's going to be a 6-1 now. But Wompcats are at least on the board now.
Yeah, sadly we couldn't see the action as the replay feature is very balanced and very polished. But at the end of the day, that is just what happened. Another kill for GAG, but the Wompcats did get a return. Pray for replay as per usual. But at the end of the day, this is not a situation you want to be in if you're Wompcats. You're sitting at a very uncomfortable 6-1 situation, and you're still trying to push down a dual lane?
That is what you're trying to do, right? I mean, you can also not give up too much ground. Like, in the end, you still need to get that farm. The only thing you need to make sure of what you're doing right now, if you're the Wompcats, is you are not feeding over eliminations that shouldn't be fed over. The XP is looking fairly spread out. Like, Crusher's a little behind, but that's to be expected as a support. But Flulouch is keeping up in terms of, at least in terms of XP, and the farm shouldn't be that far off. Other than the eliminations, that early game matter a little bit, but start mattering more and more as we get later.
Yeah, and right now we are sitting at a very comfortable early game, so there are some minutes to be had before that will happen. Here's a knock-up combining with the drone to deal some damage here onto the mid lane, but that's not going to do much. Gag, on the other hand, is going to hunt down Flulouch and get him. Now there's another one on the menu. It's Crusher, but he has to blink out of the way. Samwise and Gag once again owning their lane and showing up. But we have another activation of the world. Stop time. We do not need it. So we're right back here on, on the technical difficulty screen, as we usually call it. But, I mean, honestly, Wompcats are struggling. But what do you think they can actually do, or what is the actual solution to their problems?
It does seem that, especially on the duo lane, what is happening, we're missing the action, like the start of the action a little bit, but it does look like every single time something's happening there's a Riplash happening. Like the Riplashes are being landed, which means that's a lot of the mobility or the positioning is hard to compromise afterwards, right? Like either you have to play always out of the Riplash range, which means you put yourself into a worse position because you cannot get last hits as much, or you got to find a way to, even when you get Whiplash, get away. And with Drongo not having his ultimate online yet, and with a couple of these other factors, like just in terms of the counterplay of Narbash with the Thunk and with the speed boost as well, they're not able to fully utilize those tools yet because they weren't at level 6, for example. And that means that these early game kills are going to be fairly easy to get on the side of Samwise and Gak. But Crusher and Flulouch should scale a little bit better into both the silence as well as the shotgun shot that Flulouch gets out eventually. And Crusher will also be able to do a little bit more in terms of tankiness later in the game. So it's a shame they gave over all these eliminations that they have so far, but they should be able to give away less in the near future. They just got to minimize the damage.
Flulouch was killed right there. Now we saw the action in replay. Perfect, perfect recommendation from the chef. It's a side dish of pain, and you're just gonna go back to the respawn time. And even though he placed a really good gag grenade onto Samwise to stop the electrocute from going off, it was still not enough. Meanwhile, in mid lane, Simmy goes another kill up, actually, just easily, without any contest, really. And Baad Juju is on the retreat here on the off lane as Tarkraf is dealing so much damage. FangTooth is taken as well by Rocket rookies. Like, at this point, they are everywhere.
They are everywhere, and there's, again, no objective trade going on here. No one is on that mini prime that will still be up for the taking if they want to take it on the side of Rocket rookies. Of course, Wompcats can also try and take it, but it just doesn't feel like they're in a position where they can put themselves on the map like that. And even when you look at the vision, right, like wards are currently deeper inside of the Wompcats territory than they need to be. Baad Juju gets traded out. Griff is going to try and chase this down, might be able to get this elimination, but they just hit the level 6. They definitely should be able to now.
Tarkraf is getting out of there right then and there. Do not care about your tether. If it doesn't connect, it's wasted. That's what was written on the wall right then and there. So, a really good effort here by Griff, but at the end of the day, it's not gonna amount to much. Meanwhile, here in mid lane, there is a little bit of movement. Says Simmy and InkLegend are close by. Will there be an engage? There will. Here's the call. Connected perfectly onto Exappy. The Tesla Dome will be answered. And InkLegend just has to get out of there. He does not want to get damaged any more than necessary.
Yeah, very logical, of course. Just wanted to try and get something in mid. Now going to be rotating either over to the solo lane or to mini prime. Yeah, they're going to go for the mini prime. Baad Juju does not need to be assisted here. At least Tarkraf does need to be assisted in getting Baad Juju out of the way. InkLegend looks like they're just going to be able to pick up this mini prime without any contest.
Absolutely. Chimera has so much self-sustain with that spirit regeneration. So at the end of the day, you can just solo an objective if you like. Tarkraf, though, is getting hunted down by Griff and Baad Juju. The Fury of the Heavens is not gonna connect too much. And Tarkraf is still gonna stay alive with so little HP left. The blink is actually burned. Griff will tether. Will it be enough? No, it will not. He will get out of there just in time. And here's Simmy with the news report. The news report says it's clouded with a chance of pain. Connected onto Baad Juju. Knocked up with the seismic assault. Get that Griff. It's down and out for the count. Gag, on the other hand, will also get a kill over on the dual lane. So that's just going to be 3 kills in favor of the Rocket Rookies.
That was so painful, not being able to get an elimination on the steal and then trading back 3 eliminations. Rocket Rookies, they're not just they're not just punishing mistakes, they're also denying so many opportunities for eliminations here. Like it's especially on that solo lane. Like steal is tricky to kill, sure, especially when you're trying to go for the one-on-one, but there was definitely an opportunity for something to connect there. That felt like a mechanical shortcoming on the side of the Kwang.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's gonna turn to be their demise in that situation. But we still do have a game to have, but it's still sitting at a 12-1 situation. This looks more and more akin to the last game the Wompcats had, as they're getting engaged on again with a CC chain combo. We're talking call and shield slam. Goodness gracious, you want to turn this game up a notch.
I mean, hey, they failed to kill the gadget like 3 times in a row, and you know what they needed? They needed a steal. That's all they needed, just a little bit of extra CC. And I say a little bit, I mean a lot of extra CC. Oh, the damage with the skewer now going straight over to this jungle here. Griff is in trouble. Crusher does get out, but they still get the jungler for their trouble. They're just everywhere and nowhere at the same time, and the Wompcats are not able to put any pressure or any control on their game whatsoever.
Well, this recipe is turning out to be a very spicy meatball that the Wompcats are surely not expecting. But they're still gonna try it out. As you mentioned earlier, you can't just give them too much space. So they're trying their very best of proving Mano right, that if you are showing your might, you will most likely turn things around eventually. But meanwhile, in the dual lane, Gag and Samwise, they do not want to waste any time. They want to go directly towards this tier 2, but there's a tether onto Gag. He has to get out of there together with Samwise, as Griff is on his way on a hunt. In the meantime, there's another kill for SimmyGoesHard onto Exappy. I think this mid lane is in a pretty precarious situation.
Yep, only tier 1 cannon that's still up is the one on the solo lane, and that one, you know, it's not the one you care about the most either way. Rocket Rookies just pressuring into these tier 2 towers on mid and duo already. Their map control is just out of this world. Like, look at where those wards are. In both the red and the blue jungle, they got 1 or 2 sitting. They didn't even need to control the pits because they'll know when the Wompcats are approaching a pit even before they get out of spawn almost. It's crazy how deep they have vision.
Absolutely. So at this point, it's a free meal for every member of Rocket Rookies. They're going for their objective, taking down a Fangtooth, which will go down uncontested in just a few moments, which will be the second one, adding out-of-combat movement speed to the entire squad. And as we've seen with their rotation so far, this is not something you want the Rocket Rookies to obtain. And now they're gonna hunt down Griff with a little bit of pressure, now trying to escape, as Baad Juju is there to try and help out and see if they can finally get that coveted kill that they have been wanting for so long. They keep on hunting, they keep on charging, but Tarkraf has the power of the bull rush to get out of there just in time to rotate towards his team. Exappy is trying to escape here. In the meantime, over on the right side, from the wrath of the lieutenant, Exappy is not feeling very good about that one, as Simmy is trying to hunt it down. Tarkraf is still alive somehow,
got him!
But he finally goes down to Griff, which will finally add another kill to their tally. Simmy will answer though and get Exappy in the river, followed up by the whole team collapsing. InkLegend will get another kill. Simmy is still hunting down Griff. He wants another kill on the belt. He wants to get that little warrior out of there, but at the end of the day, it's just gonna be a reset. Whoa, he's actually going to try and deny that kill, which he will successfully do.
I almost didn't, but definitely did in the end. Yeah, the classic example of Steel being alive for so long that it turns into a bad situation for the Wompcats eventually anyways, just because of how the rotation was able to happen. Again, it took so long for them to find the Steel. When that bull rush came out, that is when they should have probably turned around and, you know, called it, because after that they had to chase so deep that the entirety of Rocket Rookies could just follow up, come in and help them out. But Yeah, there's the pressure. Once again, going up with our tier 2 tower. They want it. They want to take that thing out. They might just be able to when they find Flulouch early.
Samwise and GAG will successfully get a hold onto another kill with the help of Samwise's skewer. So this left lane is blown right open as it was their Drongo, their most essential part, the final piece of the puzzle. You do not want your character to be out. GAG will get another one right at the tier 2 tower. No fear, no doubt, no trouble. I am not out just yet. Simmy will try to hunt down Baad Juju, and with the drone, it's another kill for the side of the Rocket Rookies. They're now sitting comfortably at 10 times the kills as the Wompcats.
Yeah, they would already have been pushing into the inhibitors if the respawn timers were still so short. Like, we're only at 16 minutes, and we're talking about a 20-2. They've made more than an elimination per minute. That's something we can often say about a game, and this one we definitely can, and they might still even end on that average as well. Straight away for the mini prime, as soon as it spawns, they're going to take that objective, give it to InkLegend, just let them roam around the map even more. This is going to be a very hard one to come back into if you are the Wompcats. They got to find a way to deny this vision a little bit more. They got to find a way to get some control over a part of the map. These objectives, they are what they are. Like, obviously, you cannot just walk into a pit and take it away from Rocket Rookies. But, like, vision is a good place to start. Just making sure you have some idea of where you can go without running into any of these members. And this is definitely not a place you can go. That tower was way too low. Start fighting under it, and Griff will just get punished as a result.
Get folded, said the side of Rocket Rookies as they went right in there. And Tarkraf actually just tanked a few hits there on the tower just to make sure that it was a successful gank by InkLegend. Now they're still gonna try to fight it off as Baad Juju is right back at it with the bad news. Samwise, though, is ready to engage, will cover it. With the bull rush, he's kept in check, and with the skewer, he's holding place, and that's just another knockdown. They're still gonna go. Exappy will try to pull off the Tesla Dome of Dreams, but it's not gonna work out. 23-2, and it's still going strong. GAG is just farming at the same time over into dual lane. The crash bang boom will be wasted. Flulouch will go down. Crusher, you will go down. GAG is farming.
Yeah, GAG is now online. Didn't get a lot of those early eliminations, but is now already sitting on the 7, 1, and 4. So they're sitting pretty. They're going to be able to push further forward. Inhibitors are under attack. Half the team of Wompcats is down. A couple are about to respawn. They can probably take at least one, maybe even 2 inhibitors here if you're Rocket Rookies. It's a shame there's no other objectives up. Otherwise, maybe they would have left these objectives alone for a little bit longer, but only FangBooth is going to spawn in a couple of seconds, and that is all. They're going to retreat, probably go for that objective, and leave Wompcats to lick their wounds, to try and hold their base off from minions a little bit longer.
They are pelted, and they are almost as exhausted as they can get. They have no more life left in them, almost. But at the end of the day, they will still try to hold on to a dream and a hope. The third FangTooth will go down to the Rocket Rookies, which is a very, very unfortunate for the side of the Wompcats, as even more pressure and momentum will be in their favor. Now Tarkraf here in mid lane will try to see if he can push out the lane a little bit more, as he will try to split push as many waves as he can.
Yeah, you have to try again, push out the waves a bit, deny some vision. Like, look at where these wards are. They're almost on the core here for Rocket Rookies. There's one under the right inhibitor, and you need to find a way to deny that vision. There needs to be a little bit more scouting for those wards, a little bit more denial, destroying them, and then a little bit by bit, you can make slight advancements on the map, build out your own wards a little further than they are right now, and that is the main thing they're missing right now. Like, of course, you are behind in levels, you're behind in gold, like, it's very hard to come back into anything, but there's Griff just getting caught out, blown up, no answer whatsoever, and the Wompcats can just keep on trying to lick their wounds here.
They almost have no more wounds left because they are at this point becoming skeletons, as every single part of their bodily, let's call it bodily loot, has been taken away by Rocket Rookies. We do know that they are a crime syndicate, so they might have some connection somewhere, but this syndicate is gonna continue on with the cruelty and pressure as they're going for the All Prime. They want to get that uncontested. They do not want to wait another second, which they shouldn't, by the way. But let's just hope that with this Orb Prime, that they will pay some respect to the Wompcats with a visit. And it does look that way as the Skewer combo comes in together with the Ventilate to get GAG another kill. Now they're gonna see if they can go further on behind enemy lines into their very base. Samwise, GAG, and InkLegend are gathered here together with Tarkraf. They're gonna go for this most likely last push of this game as they have all gathered up around these objectives. They will take another inhibitor down, and that is when the last chance, the last bastion will shine upon the Wompcats. They only have one more chance, one more opportunity to turn this around. Will they get it as the engage starts right here? There is a kill for GAG, another kill for GAG. You are just wanting to feed this man even more. GAG sitting at 10, 1, and 5. He is just farming at this point, trying to beat his old record, but he can't. It is too little too late. The end is here, and Rocket Rookies are winners of this game.